back to another episode of Laura's Lessons. And as you can see today, I have a guest with me. And as per the topic, we're actually going to be speaking about girl image. We're actually going to be focusing mostly on skin conditions. And we're actually going to be speaking about eczema and acne. And we're actually doing that because we have been both victims of those conditions. I'll actually give this opportunity to my guest to introduce herself.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Wanja Nyagah. I am a writer by passion, I'm a nutritionist by profession. I am 24 years old. I am sold out to and for Christ.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm Laura Njeri Rungo, and I am a pharmacist by profession. And I guess a YouTuber by passion. And I'm also 24 years old actually, and and so that's why we're here today. As we said, we're going to be speaking about acne and eczema, and I think like it's really cool that you're both in the healthcare sector, so we can both speak as patients and also as healthcare providers, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like you to start us off. How would you describe eczema?
So I'd describe eczema as a condition that generally refers to oh my goodness.
Imagine, just speak. I'll cut it off.
Okay, fine. Eczema is a general term used to refer to the different skin conditions that are characterized by pimples, rashes, and patches. Yeah.
Alrighty, and acne is a condition by which what we call the oil from the skin, which is called sebum, goes and clogs our skin pores, also with dead skin cells, and ends up causing like rashes and bumps, which we now call pimples. For some who get what we call the blackheads, and then for some it gets very inflammatory, so someone looks very red because they're very itchy and all that type of stuff. Also, it can affect someone on the face, on the chest, on their shoulders, or even on their back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to add on that, eczema can affect the face, the hands, the feet, the legs, and basically anywhere in the body. Yeah.
Yeah, so indeed, I know, like, definitely the skin being like the largest part, or the largest organ in our body, on our body rather. Yeah. So it is actually very susceptible to some of these conditions.
True.
So Grace, tell us when and how you were diagnosed with eczema.
Okay, so I was diagnosed with eczema in 2014, but then I had started experiencing the symptoms from back in 2010. That was when I was informed. So in 2014, that's when I got to see a dermatologist, and they're like, this is eczema, and I started the eczema treatment.
So I actually got to be actually aware of what acne is back in 2005. So I was in class 6, and I didn't know that's the time we're learning about puberty and adolescence. So you're being told about all these body changes that you're gonna go through. So actually, for me, when I had my acne, first of all, they just came on like as pimples. So I was like, no big deal. They just come, and they'll just go. Little did I know they would be with me for like the next 10 years. And so like that is where the journey began. So Grace, tell us how, when you actually got to be told, of what exactly is going on with you, how did that affect you, your friends and family, and definitely your relationship with God?
Okay, so when the dermatologist told me that it's something that, it's chronic. Chronic means it goes on. It may never heal, or it takes longer to heal. So at first I was like, this has compromised my beauty. Back then, that's what I thought. So I felt less appealing, and of course that messed my self-esteem. And also I avoided people. I was a isolated human. I loved my space, and just because when I was alone, I couldn't ask myself the hard questions. So I didn't want the every time having to explain to someone what happened to my face, why I'm the way I am. So I secluded myself. But something amazing, during that period, I think I was able to draw closest to God, and that's when my spiritual life really went to the next level. And I was able to ground myself in what God says about me, and when He says I'm beautifully and fearfully made, I really had to believe that. And so for me it was a bittersweet
kind of situation. Wow, okay, actually for me, my story is also somewhat the same to some extent, because it also did affect the relationship, with who I was, because from when I was very young, I was a very bubbly, very, very fun, very out there type of person. But when that started happening, I really did start secluding myself. I started really having some proper low self-esteem. And actually, just to add on, in my family, both my mom and my sister are light-skinned. I'm the only dark-skinned one. So you can imagine the questions where you're like, it's actually your sister, for real? Actually, that's your mom.
No.
Are you going to what happened? So They already fighting another battle of being dark skinned. Then here we are now adding another issue of having acne on top. So it really did take a toll on me, take a toll, on the spark, on the fire that I once had. And it should actually be so bad till I would actually walk with my head, low, because they didn't want to look someone straight in the face. They didn't want to start explaining to them, or them started to look at my forehead and be like, what is happening there? So it also did affect me. It just did affect the way I interacted with my friends and family. Again, because of the seclusion. Sometimes we are preparing to go out, probably with family and stuff. And then, like, I'm already in the car, but when you get there, I don't want to get out of the car now. Because I'm like, now people are going to start singing and all that type of stuff. So it really did take a toll on me. And also did really get depressed. Also became like quite a loner. I didn't really want to be seen around with people, because they would always like compare me, probably with someone else. And again, also like between me and God, that also did take a toll, because for me, for the longest, I always knew, being a Christian meant, you ask God for something and He gives you straight up, So the time, I'm asking God, like, why is this happening to me? Are you punishing me for something? I would go to bed, drenched in tears every single night. I'm like, okay, God, just take this thing away from me. And actually, because at least God gave me the gift of having long nails, that actually times I would even like start scratching my face. Can you imagine, like, my forehead? Because I'm like, I need to get these things out. So it actually did take a toll also on my relationship with God. Since I got him in 2005, it was actually like until 2011, back now in 2011, when I made the decision to leave God, because I didn't think He loved me. Because I am telling Him to take this thing away from me, and He's not doing so exactly. So I'm like, then what is this? Why are we doing this? So I was like, this is fine, I'm God. And so it actually did. Now for me, for it actually brought you closer to God. For me, it actually took me away from God. Which is a very interesting. It is. So like today, like, what do you do to keep your condition under control?
Okay, so currently I am proud to say that I am not on any medicated creams, unless it's when I have very extreme flares and I have to go for one. So on a normal day, I make sure I stay hydrated. I make sure I stay moisturized. And then for one of my triggers is genetics, so it runs in the family. So basically there's nothing that I can do about the genetics. But I try to look out for something like stress. When I'm stressed, I'll get flare up. So if something stresses me, I don't really take much time on it. And also I make sure when I'm buying clothes, I have to fit in and feel that, have the skin feel. If it irritates me, then I won't buy it, because most times when something irritates my skin, then I'll keep on itching and scratching. It makes it bad.
It's actually very good pointers, probably for those who are also struggling with this.
Let me add something. For eczema, it's different for different people. So there are those who will get reactions from taking dairy products, eggs, and also anything that has gluten. That is wheat products. So it's quite diverse.
Very good pointers. And actually, so by having a nutrition issue, you'll tell you know what gluten is all about. So for me, fun enough, back then, because especially like my forehead is one that was like mostly affected, I would use my hair, to put like a fringe of some sort to try and hide my forehead. But I actually came to realize it was because of the hair being all over my face and because of the oil from the hair, it would actually go and clog my pores. So like, fun enough, I was actually the one who was causing my own acne to some extent. And then also there's some people of whom like hair is very sensitive to them. So there's some of course, like if it starts like touching your cheeks and all, you also get rashes. Also for me, it usually happens for me at times. So you can even see like right now, all my hair is like at the back of my head and all that type of stuff. So it actually like has taken some time for me to get here.
So you mentioned about the hair. Yes. And for me, I used to hide my pimples by wearing stockings on a very hot day. I mean, who does that? So and you imagine
they're black.
Exactly, and they're black. So when I wear stockings and it's hot, that means that the pimples will start oozing out. And when it oozes, it makes the healing, more.
The process now becomes longer.
So it's actually making my own condition worse, thinking that I'm protecting myself, but in actual fact,
I'm making it worse. And actually, like now for me, with that whole hair thing, because I was also like using braids, to cover up my face. Until some point in 2015, I was like, I've had it, and it's giving this condition so much power over me. So one day, like in the bathroom, after I removed my braids, I cut off my hair, and I was like, I need to start living boldly. I need to start living life once again. I cannot allow this issue to totally cripple me. So I actually cut my hair, and even by then, said my acne had gone away, but I had to stop giving it so much power over me. You know. So again, also definitely water is very good for you. Take a lot of water as you can. Also sunscreen, especially right now, the sun has been crazy, and you might think, you know, because you're dark, because your melanin feel that you don't need sunscreen. Is a lie. Please invest in some sunscreen. It's very good for you. Yeah. Also, and she said something to do with stress also. Really try and keep your stress levels, you know, at bay or under control, because actually it's this hormone that we call cortisol that is also known as the stress hormone. For some people, it also gives them ulcers. For some of us now, again, it gives us breakouts. For her, it also makes her eczema worse. So also really try and make your stress levels as controlled as possible. As we talked about, you know, giving your worries and your burdens to Christ. Come on, somebody. Yes. He cares. He cares for you. So you leave your burdens with God. Let Him take care of you. I don't think there's anything. And definitely, something else. For those ones who use our phones a lot, probably if it's on phone calls and stuff, really try and avoid keeping your phone at your ear. Use your headphones. It actually really helps, because, you know, with the data your phone is already having every single day, wherever you're putting it, then you can put it on your face. So really try and keep your phone away from your face. Also, with your pillowcases, it's very important for you to always keep on changing them, especially for those of us who have oily skin. Our skins can get really oily a lot, so you can actually end up having clogs quite a lot. And actually, the times you hear about this myth that, you know, it's because, you know, you have dirty hands, you know, it's, you know, like when you touch your face. So also, like, it's also good for you to also keep your hands clean, and also probably keep your hands away from your face. It's not a must that you always keep on touching your face. That is also very important.
We didn't say where we met.
This was supposed to have been at the beginning, but we'll still say it. So tell us about where we met.
So I met Laura at Spirit and Purpose. It's a program that goes for 10 weeks, basically for women and girls. And she did season 1. I did season 3. That's when we met.
And actually, remember, there's just like one specific session that we were having, and they were the ones in session at that time, but I think I just happened to just pass by, and we were speaking about, you know, the type of insecurities that we have, and she just happened to mention about, you know, that she was insecure about her dark skin, and I was like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, your skin is gorgeous. And funny enough, like, that really did actually put quite a foundation for the friendship that we've built, and actually, like, even why I think today we are here even doing this video.
Since 2016.
Since 2016, actually, so we thank God for that. Anything else you'd like us to say? What would the you of today tell the you of back then? Plus also those other girls, you know, those other people who are also struggling with eczema too.
So looking back, I tell myself that, you know, these things come and go, and if it doesn't go, it doesn't mean that it's the end of life. And I would tell myself to find a firm ground that basically defines who I am or gives me the value, you know, that I desire in life. And for me, that is God. So anything that does not mirror what God says about me, then it's not good for me. I remember one time someone said that you know, I have the type of skin like someone who's, you know, HIV and AIDS positive, because, you know, I had rashes and they're oozing out and all that. But, you know, that of course broke me. I did cry, but, you know, looking at his word, and when he says that I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, then it's just the final thing. And for anyone struggling with eczema, or if you're not sure if it's eczema, but, you know, there's something that, you know, is exactly with your skin, please go visit a dermatologist. It might be expensive, but then your health is your wealth. So make that bold move, go get checked, and then also have people around you who build you up, people who see beyond your skin. And also something else, we're talking about how people you know, bleach, or you know, to just hide this kind of thing that goes on. It's not the proper thing to do. Sometimes we think makeup is the escape, but then if the only thing you have is makeup, and you have no good heart, you have no right character, then you're just a decoration, you're just like a flower vase, you know, you're there for people to see you, but then they really can't get to you. So work on your self-esteem, work on believing yourself, and having a community that really supports you.
Like what you said is is so important. Especially, I'll actually start with like when this person spoke to you like in such a bad manner. I've gone through a lot of bullying, especially because that time I was in high school. I remember I've been called ugly. I've been told in your mother's womb, like you burnt. Can you imagine like when you put like a cake or bread in the oven, then probably it overstays, then it gets that black char on top. So like someone telling you that at
So
in your mother's womb. As in, people can be really really mean out here. And it's only when you're in a position to understand who you are and you actually get to a point where you love yourself.
Sure.
Can you be in a position to actually stand strong and stand firm in knowing that is how they're speaking, but that's not who God says I am.
Yeah.
It's only until you understand that God loved us first. So He loved you. He loves you so much that you're in a position to love yourself.
Sure.
And after you love yourself, are you able to love others?
Yeah,
right?
Kind of energy
that that
will
always come back.
To you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will always definitely it will always definitely come back.
Yeah.
And like something else I probably also like to say, even just as you said, like even about makeup.
Yeah.
For personally, there are enough people who are like instead you start wearing makeup, to hide like their flaws and all that, those blemishes. And I was very intentional about making sure I would not start putting on makeup until I was sure the person that I am with the makeup is the same person that I am without the makeup. The same confidence that I'm exuding with the makeup is the same confidence I'm exuding without it.
True.
Yeah, and that was so important for me because like what happens if my makeup gets stolen?
Yeah, or if you're in town and you get rained on.
So now what's gonna happen? So like you have, because at the end of the day you need to make sure that by the time you're getting back into the house, the person that you're seeing in the mirror, someone that you love, someone that you actually do very much cherish.
Yeah.
So something that I also actually like to tell the younger me and also those other girls who are struggling with this thing is that please don't think that your life has ended. Again, it is a phase.
Yeah.
And actually probably I would just start by saying and actually go to a point like where we're actually speaking about where I actually came up with this topic was because actually both my mom and my best friend had actually noticed that my skin had actually become very clear. They're like, Njeri, you see, this thing was just a phase. You're just going to grow out of it at one point or another. But actually there's some who are still struggling with it today. Yeah, so I think it's also very important for us to also recognize those who are still having acne struggles to date, who are still having eczema struggles to date. But please get to learn that until you actually get to love yourself for who you are, it really doesn't matter, what's going on the outside. And then it's only when you're able to learn only when you're able to actually love yourself from the inside, are you actually able to actually take care of yourself on the outside.
Very true.
So actually, and we usually still keep on insisting until you actually have Christ in you, will you actually be able to actually understand that you're indeed beautifully and wonderfully made. Yes, and that you are His masterpiece, you are His handiwork. He wanted you to be as dark as you are, so don't you dare bleach your skin. That will not deal with your self-esteem issues. Imagine it won't. It won't, because today probably it's your dark skin. Tomorrow you want to probably like enhance your features, and then it becomes such a vicious cycle. Yes, and you never be at peace. So only until you're actually in a position to actually love yourself for who you are today, will you be actually in a position to be like, I love myself for who I am. Yes.
And also the last thing maybe, you realize that for you it might be, for us it might be the struggle with our skin. For someone else it's the struggle with something else. So everyone struggles.
It's different.
Don't you be lied to that you're the only one with a struggle. It's just that yours can be seen by everyone, but everyone else
is struggling. That is so true. That is so true. And I hope that this will actually be able to propel you to recognize. May you be in a position to use your pain as your purpose. May you be in a position to actually go and speak life into others who are probably also going through something that you have been through before. Because actually God might have actually put you in such a position so that later in life, down the line, when you're actually able to find someone who's also going through the same thing, you're able to give them words of encouragement. You're able to walk that journey with them. And so this life is all about, honey. It just ain't about you. Like life doesn't like revolve around you. Revolve around you. Exactly.
Your purpose is way bigger.
It's way bigger than you. Actually, it's actually definitely way bigger than you. Wow, I think this has been such an amazing session. Any last words before we close?
Thank you so much for having me, and we hope to continue the conversation. We were talking about eczema and acne, but then we are not oblivious to the many conditions that are out there. Psoriasis,
vitiligo,
there's albinism and all that.
So we definitely also recognize those other skin conditions that are out there. So I actually think even these pointers that we're speaking about, even just like life struggles, they also do resonate. They can also resonate to those ones who are going through the albinism and the vitiligo and all that type of stuff. So don't you feel as if you're alone in these streets? You really, really are not. Probably you can also tell us about the fact that your blog was featured on an international platform.
Okay. All right. So last week I got a feature from oba.girltable.com. It's a blog, a worldwide blog that focuses on stories from women and girls all over the world. So yeah, they got my article got featured on the blog, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
And you can imagine, I think that was like, I think we were talking about this yesterday or the day before.
Exactly.
And we're just like, this is so cool, because we're even like already planned to do this video. Yeah, so it's like, indeed, this is a time for us to speak about things. So I think like
no delays.
Really cool. For sure.
Yeah.
So I just also want to thank you so much, Grace, for taking out the time for you to be here, for you to also be in a position to speak live into the rest of the people who are out there who could also be struggling with the same thing. And once again, as I always keep on saying, because Christ died for us, let us live for him. Bye.